Good morning, friends. It's a new day. It's a new month. For many of us, it means back to school and a shift in schedules, maybe a change in grades for kids. There's a lot of change in the air, but I think feels like August is going to be a good one, so why not believe that? We've been talking a lot about peace in the last several weeks, and if you haven't seen those videos, I hope you'll go back and check them out. How we're sort of cultivating and investing in peace is important in a world that feels a little fragile, feels on the verge of violence, in some places actively engaged in violence. And I hope maybe some of those practices and thoughts will be useful as you craft peace within yourself. But today I kind of wanted to talk about the difference between peacemaking and peacekeeping, because I think they get mixed up. You know, we think about this word peace, and sometimes we think that it just means to avoid, or that it means to just keep everybody happy, just keep everything calm, just let's ride it out. And, peacekeeping maybe has its place sometimes if things are highly volatile, or when raising your voice is just going to raise the temperature and the angst in the room. But that's different than peacemaking. Peacemaking is more in line, in my opinion, with, how Jesus lived and moved. He did not run away from the various conflicts and things. In fact, if you want to tune in later for Beach Street Church FPC Daytona, or come in person, we're going to talk about when Jesus got pretty ticked and how that played out. But peacemaking walks towards the conflict, but it does it gently. Peacemaking speaks truth to power. It says what it means, but it doesn't say it mean. Peacemaking has a sense of possibility in it, that change could happen, that people could come together, that there could be those soft places to land, that it might be safe enough to examine ourselves and find places to shift, to gentle, to love, to connect. And I just, at First Pres Beach Street Church, we had an imam come recently, Imam Shamu, from the Daytona Islamic Center, and he did this really beautiful job of sharing what Islam believes about some of the verses we talked about, while not allowing Islam to be consumed by Christianity. It was so interesting. You can go back and watch the video at Beach Street Church FPC Daytona's YouTube or Facebook. But it was so interesting because my tendency, and this is like not anything I planned, but was highlighted for me, was to try to say, oh, here's where we're the same. Here's where we're the same. Which on one hand is kind of lovely, right? Like find those connection points. But on another hand is colonialism. Is my Christianity trying to take over his Islam? And he did such a lovely job of saying, yeah, there are some connection points here, but we're not the same. And it just really highlighted the idea of unity over uniformity. And that's in line with peacemaking. Peacemaking does not require you to dissolve who you are or who someone else is to try to make us all the same. Sometimes peacekeeping just wants to make us all the same so things can be calm. And sometimes there needs to be change, and change is rarely calm. And I believe it can be done well. I believe it can be done with compassion and gentleness. Imam Shamu smiled the whole time. He was like, you people have no idea how much we love Jesus. Was able to honor connection points and honor diversity. Peacemaking can do that. Peacekeeping will often sacrifice it for the sake of calm. I am not trying to rank one as better than the other. There is a space for both. But if peacemaking is part of who we're called to be, then it's going to require some bravery. It's going to require some of that internal peace we talked about a few weeks ago, cultivating that. It's going to require more people of peace and practices of peace and words of peace. Not just words that soothe and connect, though those are important as well, but also words that call out and that say, I love you, and it's still not okay. That say, I can honor you being you and me being me, but we've got to find another way forward. If you need some reading material on that, may I encourage you to read Mending Divides by Jer Swigert or Dear White Peacemaker by Oshita Moore. And there's many, many others out there that can share some of the differences between this peacemaking and peacekeeping. And we can't just have one or the other, we need both. But peacemaking is the one I think we have to work on a little bit more. Peacekeeping, many of us did that in our households our whole lives. Just get everybody calm and quiet, and everything will be all right. It's a bit of a challenge, and I hope that it's a bit of encouragement as well. There are things we can do. There are ways we can make peace, not just keep peace. Keeping peace is sometimes just status quo. Making peace, that's change. May you find some ways to make peace today that allow you to be loving and gentle and peaceful, but to make real change. That allow you to love the other without trying to recruit them or without trying to become them, but to make peace with them. May you today take a slow, deep breath and see your and others' identity as a child of God. Grace and peace, friends.